So this message would be to, well, any of the globalists living in our country, that were stupid enough to get on board with the 15 or 17 unsustainable development goals with the United Traffickers, United Nations, as I continue to say. But especially anybody in the United Nations. You can do whatever you want. I don't have to adhere to anything you say. I don't. Much of what you're doing was done under Obama, and he was an illegitimate president. So it will just take another election to turn that around. So keep doing your fear mongering. It's very unfortunate that so many registered nurses, especially at our highest educated levels, but somehow I bet you knew that they would go along with it because of their overeducation and because of Magnet. But I think you knew that they would all get on board with it and just disregard the American Constitution like it doesn't matter. But I think you guys at the UN, I think you know that everything you're doing violates our Constitution. And I know good old Klaus Schwab doesn't care, or Noah Yuval Harari, because it's not like they care about human beings at all, or yourselves, even though you act like you do. But the most trafficking has happened under your watch. And in fact, it's you guys at the UN who has been giving out, with our taxpayer money, debit cards to people crossing the border. In fact, you've paid immigrants from other countries to come here, to flood our border. How do you think this will end for you, United Nations? Really, really. I just wonder. I really do. Well, for one, I wonder how you think it will end, just because, whether you believe in the biblical God or not, which I'm assuming most of you don't, the biblical God is very clear about not wanting a borderless world for obvious reasons, because of globalists. Because globalists are sadists. So, quite frankly, I don't care what your rules are. I don't care if the entire nursing board in every state in this country is going along with you and is that foolish to go along with an agenda that will take away freedoms from people. I don't care what unions are going along with you, because unions are always tied to communism, not to mention that the ones I've dealt with are, quite frankly, despicable in how they treat others. But then I would expect that, because you're all globalists. You all think you can just disregard the American Constitution, totally violating our Constitution. Weren't you guys supposed to be about peace and all that stuff? See, that's the thing. You guys never really have been. There's just been more trafficking, more murdered children. Everybody's petrified in other countries of your blue helmet thug peacekeepers. Yeah, peacekeepers. Your Tony Soprano peacekeepers. Terrified of them because they rape and murder people. But your whole organization was supposed to be about keeping peace and helping people in times of war. But what have you done with that time? Oh, you got on board with that. We're gonna take America down, huh? Boy, that was a big mistake, UN. It really was. You really underestimate the American people. Granted, I know there's a ton of organizations that were stupid enough to get on board with a bunch of traffickers and a bunch of nurses and a bunch of medical professionals. But you know what? Not all of us. And the everyday Americans will not listen to what you have to say, because we were born in America and Obama wasn't a legit president. It's just 2 years till the next election. What will you do then, UN? And really what I wonder is, what will all of those nurses that decided to align with your organization do when they realized, first of all, that they've aligned with traffickers? But maybe they know that. I don't know. Maybe they're on board with that, right? And they'll just call it, oh, we're migrating new workers to be the nurses that'll take the place of the American nurses. Is that what it's all about? Yeah, I think so. So you won't be successful, but you keep putting your flyers out there and your news reports saying that you're going to dox nurses and doctors if they don't do whatever you say. Quite frankly, I don't have to do what you say. I'm an American citizen. You have no right to disregard my sovereignty or my country's sovereignty. But then I guess this is what you've done all your life, and everybody, all of you there, and you've all aligned with, and all the people aligned with you are totally okay with trampling all over people's freedoms, proving that all of you and the people that aligned with you are just sadist communists. Well, I'm not one of those people. And if I have to die fighting back, fighting for my rights as an American, then I am fine doing that. But I will not follow any regulations that's handed down by the United Nations. Nor will I follow anything that goes against the medical, or no, I shouldn't say this, that goes against the scientific evidence. In fact, I found out that I guess, it was the unions. Yes, it was the unions that changed what the scientific method is. That's how they have allowed all this gender stuff on children. Totally unethical and disgusting. But then I would expect that from people that are sadist, globalist commies.